I'm going to try something different real quick. Before I start the actual video off, I'm going to throw this in. What we're going to end up doing is reviewing this Hawkeye Firefly 8S. This camera, number one, is a 90-degree view. No distortion whatsoever. There isn't 170 or 120, anything like that. That is awesome itself. It does incredible slow motion at 120. It'll do up to 240. It does 4K, but there's a gyro sensor on it for image stabilization. And I'll talk about that a little bit in there. I just wanted you to know before I get started, this is a 90-degree Sony, which is awesome for regular videotaping. Alright, here's the deal. I made a video on this little action cam that I got and somehow deleted the footage, so I'm going to do this over. And actually, it's probably a good thing because I started rambling too long on it and I got a lot of footage I want to show you, so I'm going to have to hurry up. But I want to key in this Firefly 8S by Hawkeye. It's actually a very versatile, well-built, and real good high-quality camera. I was very surprised at it. Price-wise, I got a Sony, I think the X3000. This is very comparable to it. And I don't think you're even looking at maybe $100 for it, and it comes with a ton of accessories. Neat thing about it is, or should I say good thing about it, is I've had it for probably 3 weeks now and it's been hiccup free. I have not had any hardware issues with it, not having to reset it or anything. It does come with, like I said, a bunch of accessories. The waterproof housing on it is just unreal. And by the way, all the mounts that it comes with and everything is the same as a GoPro. So that's pretty good for you GoPro owners out there. And there are a lot of mounts, different mounts on the internet for it. Also, you got your 1/4 thread in the bottom for standard tripod mount. And as far as the accessories, I'm not going to go through them all like I did on the last video that got deleted, but there's a big pile of them. And like I said, a lot of GoPro mounts, but I do want to show you this lantern with the quick disconnect. You hook that into, of course, the corner of the camera, and you got this around your neck. You just basically push that button, you got your camera off. And I found that quite awesome and very, very rugged. That, and you got a non-waterproof housing you can put this camera in with a 1/4 thread on the bottom and the top. And where that works good is just took a cheap suction cup and put it up in my car windshield, and it works great as a car DV. And I'm not, like I said, go through the mounts, but you get more than enough to mount it on handlebars, everything else. You got a handlebar mount, stuff like that. That's all included. I even missed some mounts that are in. What I want to key in quick on is the functions on this little camera that what I think makes it very outstanding. Number one, the UI or user interface on it. Push the front button, light comes on. You know what? I want to make sure I stay focused on this one this time. So what we're going to do is hold it right here. You see all the nice LED lights on it. You can shut all them off. You've got to have SDXC Class 10 U3 card in here to run, which is awesome. 4K at 30 frames a second, and you'll see the quality on it. It's got a Sony Sony lens on it, A7 processor. It keeps up quite well with it. With that said, you have a massive wealth of video modes you can go through on this for resolutions. And we start out at the top, up to 4K. You got 4K 30 frames a second, 4K at 25 with S-View, and then you're getting down into the 2K mode, which is awesome in itself. Now, the one thing with these 4K and 2K, you cannot run the 6-axis gyro that's in here for image stabilization, and that works phenomenal. You have to be down into 1080p. You start getting into there, and I'm telling you, the image, you'll see the shakiness is pretty much all but gone on this little thing. You have anywhere from 30 up to 240 frames a second. 240 isn't the greatest because you're down to 720, but at 1080, you can run 120 with sound, and that works quite well. Going through the menu, there's so many things you can adjust: your ISO, your metering, your EV value, ISO. You can change sharpness, the whole 9 yards, and you also can change your microphone level. You got loop recording, to where if that is enabled, what it'll do is like, say you put it at 2 minutes, a 2 minute segment till a card fills up, and then it'll just go through and delete that next oldest file out and just continually do it. You have a time-lapse recording, which I tried that out. That is just awesome. Basically turn on and go, and it creates the video and everything, and it does a really very good quality video on that. Put a video stamp on it, dual files, motion detect, that's the other awesome one. This is just unreal for a surveillance camera. You turn that motion detect on, this thing will sit there and pick up, you can turn your, like I said, the beep off and your LED lights off, put that up in the corner of the house and have it plugged in running with it's a mini USB, so your battery don't drain, and it's literally a nice surveillance camera where if somebody walks by in front of it, it picks it up, and it does an incredible job. You can set that to low, medium, and high. I've tried that out numerous times, and I really, really like that aspect of it. Like I said, the gyro sensor, it's got the 6-axis gyro on it, and that works quite well. Awesome. You got auto low light for if it starts getting dark. I'll tell you right now, it doesn't do the greatest in low quality videos, but this helps it. It brings in the subject and slows the frame rate down to probably around 20 frames a second. I think that's, just say that initial menu's pretty much covered. But you go to like slow motion, you can set it up for slow motion itself, turn it on slow motion, which now I'm on slow motion, and I'm probably running, I think, 120 frames a second. You go into car mode on this thing. What that does is, if you have this plugged in to, say, your cigarette lighter and it loses power, it auto shuts off. And when you start your car up, it'll turn on and start recording like a regular car DVR. That I found incredible. Little camera does it all. Now, one thing that, and also pictures. It takes incredible pictures, and I'm very high quality pictures. If you were to just say you got it on and you hit this button here, you see that turns green. That means you're in picture mode, and it says it on the back as well, back to video mode. But the user interface on this thing is just wicked. It just surprised the heck out of me. And so much so, I was going to give this to a friend, but I'm keeping this camera. I really like it for its portability. Throw this thing in your pocket. You always got a real good camera with you, video camera, to record with and whatnot. That's, I would say, way better than a cell phone. And we are going to compare this to my Sony X3000 on 4K, just to show you the video quality. And why I'm trying to hurry up with this is most of this video I want to spend it on the video work that it does. So with that said, let's just jump right into the video work. And oh, by the way, I did get this from GearBest, and I'll provide a link down below. What do you say we get outside and get rolling? All right, here's the Firefly in 4K, 30 frames a second. And we're going to be comparing this to the Sony. I'm going to do a panning with this, and then we're going to do it with a Sony Action Cam, the very latest 4K one. This is what you can expect out of this. There's a little bit of snow dropping, so I hope I don't hit the lens, but that's the Firefly. Now we'll do the Sony. All right, there's the Sony. Now, I am going to run a tripod, like I said. I'm going to pan. This is the top of the line 4K Sony with an optical steady shot. Again, that's the Sony. That's the Firefly. Now here's 4K S view at 25 frames a second. It just basically widens everything up, distorts it, I think. Don't really care for that unless you try to get a lot of footage. Now here's 2K at 4:3 crop at 30 frames. Not too bad. Not as big of a file. I'm going to go through all the resolutions. This is 2K at 16:9 at 60 frames a second. Actually, it's 2.7K, I think. This is a pretty good mode here. Very high quality. I'm very surprised with this thing, to be honest with you. And it so far has been bulletproof without a hiccup. Now here's 1080p at 120 frames a second. This one you'd want to use in the action for fast like movement of the camera, where you pick up be less blur. Works quite well. Here's 1080p at 30 frames a second. Pretty good. Here's 720p at 240 frames a second, to where do an extremely high speed footage. I'm back in the 4K 30 frames. Now if I were to take this off the tripod, this is 1920 by 1080, and you have your image stabilization on. And 4K you do not have that. So this is 1920 by 1080 in my hand. I'm going to go back to 4K and pan with my hand. Okay, now I'm in 4K in the hand. Do believe it's a little bit shakier. I don't know if we can run 2K with gyro on. Let's see. No, you can't, but I want to get close to, say, a subject. Right now I'm about 11 inches away. There's about 6 inches. 4, maybe even 3. Does a pretty good job. I'm less than 3 inches from this horseshoe. A little blurry there. Probably about 4 inches from the head of that nail. Now one thing you got to play with your ISO and everything else on this to fine tune it. I'm running, like I said, 4K at 30 frames a second. We'll go for a little walk. Now we'll go to night with the image stabilization on. There's 1080p with image stabilization on. See if we notice any difference. Hey Chooch, what's the matter? You getting cold? Are you too cold? Huh? You cold? Dog's getting cold, I gotta let him down. Warmer in the porch, ain't it? There you go, buddy. I'd turn the ISO all the way down. See if that's a different. I'm in 2K right now. At 60 frames a second. My fingers are getting cold, so we might have to go in a car. I turn the ISO all the way up to 1600 at 2K. I don't think you're going to see much different in the daytime. We might test that at night. Alright, I'm in the car. It's a little bit cold though. That's wrong. But I'm at 2K at 60 frames a second. Which to me, if you got ample light, that is probably one of the better See if this guy's going to drop off a package. Nope. If you can keep it steady anyways. This is 2K, 60 frames. I'm running 4K at 30 frames. You don't have your steady shot on this. It was mounted on the windshield. It worked great. Quite long battery life with this thing. Back to 60 frames at 2K. One thing it does have, field of view, I got it on wide. Let's pull over and put this on narrow just to see what it's like. Now I'm on narrow. I think it's just a digital zoom. We're not going to keep doing that. We'll drive a little bit like that. This is a narrow field of view. Now I'm back to wide. I do believe I got image stabilization on at 1080p right now, 60 frames a second. Battery just now dropped 1 bar, and I've been using this for probably, I'd say about a good 20-some minutes. Adjust the metering quite well. Road noise. Here I'm at 1920 with the window partially open. Holding it in my hand. Here's 4K. Pretty nice. I had it in basically sleep mode, never shut it off. You just hit it once and then again you start recording. Sun's getting ready to go down. We'll do some low light shots. That'll give you a good idea on this thing. So far it's been foolproof, totally foolproof. Have not had to reset it or anything. Alright, this is what you can expect out of this at nighttime. I have the low light option on. If you notice, what it does is I think it just slows the frame rate down. And we're in 4K. And looking at through my yard lights only. There's no moonlight or anything. This is dark. I'm going to go ahead and switch that low light option off. Okay, now the low light's off. I'm in 4K. Does darken it up quite a bit, I think. Maybe not. But it's a lot smoother. Tell you what, I'm going to leave the camera right here. And this is low light off, and that's low light on. so it definitely does brighten it up. That's 30 frames at 4K. Doesn't do too bad of a job, but it does make it more choppier and grainier with the low light on, I do believe. Back to 4K with the low light off. Now, one last thing here. I got my Imlet DX70, world's brightest light. Just to see how well this camera performs with a bright artificial light. I think it performs quite well. Pretty neat. One last one. At 1080p at either 60 or 30 frames, this is 30, this camera seems to do best. You can hand hold it without it looking too choppy at all. Like I said, right now I'm running that flashlight, and whoa, that was bright. Holding it in my hand and walking at 30 frames a second. Does a pretty good job. Real good job. Well, that's enough for the video work. Alright, can't stress enough the build quality on this camera and the quality of the videos it has, along with the great user interface and no hiccups. That's what's blowing me away. I've had 3 or 4 different action cams, and 2 of them I didn't even put a review up because one of them 8 cards and the other one quality was not that good. And I've had, like I said, I think I've had this for 3 weeks now, and I've used it a lot, and I haven't even had a hiccup with this thing. And I really like the different features it has. Number 1, the time-lapse video is awesome, quick to set up. 2, the motion detect makes this one heck of a surveillance camera. The car mode makes it a great DVR. The general beautiful quality of that 4K, and then the image stabilization on the 1080p is unreal. I do believe I'm going to be using this camera quite a bit. Now there's features that of course I didn't cover with this thing. The other one is the 90-degree view on this lens. This isn't 170 degrees, it's 90 degrees. But there is no distortion on it, as you can tell. Like I said, I got this off GearBest and it is just awesome. You got to check that link out. If you're looking for a good, well-priced portable camera with a real long battery life, this would be the one. You know what? I'm going to add that into the start.